What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Valiant Volumes. I am one of your hosts, Dan, CEO and founder of Valynt Digital, and next to me I have
Makayla Mitchell, otherwise known as Mac.
All right, Mac. It's been a while.
It has been. This is exciting.
It's been months since we've been back in the studio because we've been so busy. So I think for the listeners, I just kind of want to fill them in and share with them what's been happening.
Yeah.
Because how long has it been? Like 3 months since we've been here? Amelia, has it been 3 months maybe?
It was actually before the summer because I traveled some in the summer. So it had to have been early June. We're in Q4.
Has it been that long?
I think so.
I am not. I think it's been a little longer than 3 months.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Specifically, I'm not too sure though.
Yeah, I gotcha.
We've had a lot. We haven't just been stagnant though. We've had a lot going on. So you want to kind of touch on that?
Sure. Well, in the last 90, 120 days, we've added new team members. I think that's a big highlight. We've kind of beefed up our team on the services that we provide, our partners and our clients. So we brought on 2 digital marketing managers and then another digital account manager.
Yeah.
So, and that's a lot for an agency like our size because you got to think, all of these clients that we're working with and bringing in 2 additional digital marketing managers means we can do, almost quadruple the work that we're doing now. Yeah. So we're trying to end the year strong. Q4 is, I think for our business, is a very busy time of the year because everybody's trying to either spend their marketing budget or they're already thinking about Q1 in 2024. So they're coming to us hey, we want to start a campaign in December. So it's a really busy month, a busy time of the year. So yeah, I think that's the major update that I have.
I feel like in a lot of our conversations early on, or even maybe the last time we were here, there was a heavy focus on how we were improving a lot of the sales process. And there was that conversation with Jagger just about how he was improving with being a salesperson on the team, to where now we're actually at a point where he's doing such a great job at bringing in sales that there's not even a question of if we have them. And now we actually need the people that build the ads. So the digital marketing manager. That's freaking cool.
That's a great point. Yeah. So we're not able to keep up with the business that's coming in. Part of the reason we're beefing it all up.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's exciting times. I know I'm sounding mundane about it, but they're just fucking so much shit.
Okay, but with new teams, what does it also mean? We get office space.
Oh yeah, so we got
that was an exciting thing that we did this morning. Was we were finishing vetting out some different office spaces because as we're expanding, we need more space. So
and it's weird though because the place that we're in now,
no names,
no names. They're just not as friendly because we're gonna get into this topic today. They're just not as friendly, and this new place that we found, they're just so much more catering and the customization of. They allow us to customize the office.
Yeah.
At least that's what they told me this morning.
Yeah. I like her. I think she was sincere.
Yeah.
But let's just dive into the whole co-working space because that's the place that, or the type of establishment that we've been on.
Is that one of our topics today?
Co-working? I think co-working leading into some different customer services experience that we've been highlighting and how relationships just really matter.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to start there?
Yeah. It's kind of yeah, let's start there. Let's go.
Okay. So with the different co-working spaces that we've been using previously, when I started 3 years ago or so, we had a dedicated office space. Pandemic, it didn't make sense to have, so we moved to more of just a general co-working space. Now we're finding that we want to paint the office and we want to customize it for ourselves. And so through that experience, we've realized there's a lot of different co-working space options, and I'm finding a lot of them beef it up with gyms and all the perks, and the rent is ridiculous, and in the end it's those are cool, but we're here to work. So how can you make our work life more easier, more user friendly, right?
That's exactly what it is. So the thing that we found in the last couple of days is that it's a co-working space, but they're not making it co-working friendly for the businesses that are inside there. And I don't think I speak for all businesses, but just the way they're structured kind of annoys me. I don't want it to sound negative, but be what it used to be. Let me start from what it used to be.
Okay.
So co-working was, the price was what it was, right? Pre-COVID and even after COVID. Obviously, prices are way down from 2-3 years ago, I mean, a $7,000 office is going for half that price.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, price point, it went down because their occupancy rate is probably 50 to like 60, 70%, maybe lower than that. And depending on the location of it. But what I'm finding is as their occupancy rate went down, they were trying to find ways to increase their revenue or maintain their revenue from before.
Yeah.
So my assumption, it's assumption here, but they started charging us what, like, coins. Like, so it was unlimited booking of, conference rooms, which is important for us as an agency. And I'm sure a lot of other businesses in these different type of co-working spaces, but they started a credit systems, which means that after you book like the first 10 days of the month, we were then in sort of like an overage phase to where when we're booking, we're being charged a couple $100 per 3 or 4 hours, and which makes no sense to me. It makes sense from their side of the business, but then from the person that's renting out and leasing out office spaces, it makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, this is actually, I didn't realize this before, but this is actually a great conversation because some of our audience are agency owners who are probably looking to
or
expand.
entrepreneurs like starting.
Yeah. And we've had conversations with, our own clients or just, our peers who think that the office space is step one. That makes me a legitimate business, and I need to front X amount of dollars just to have an office space to even begin, which isn't always the best solution. And so for those agency or entrepreneurs that are listening, there are co-working spaces where you can have different memberships, and that's like what we're talking about. And with our membership, we could have those conference room to reserve for when everyone was in office and you needed more privacy.
It used to be unlimited.
Yeah.
But then they changed it to the credit system. And by the way, the reason I'm annoyed about it is because they changed it to a credit system, and now after the first 10 days of the month, I'm having to pay a couple $100 every time I book a room
that are empty.
They're empty. That's correct. Yeah. So that's where my annoyance comes from. So like this place that we found is not like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's completely different. They're very catering. They're allowing businesses to customize even the office spaces, unlike some of those major shared office spaces out there. So again, no knock on those people. They run their business how they do, but
wasn't a fit for us anymore.
Yeah, it's just not a fit for us. And I think for a lot of up and coming entrepreneurs, like especially here in DFW, there's so many different options. I don't know, like it's not an easy find. Like, I mean, I know we knocked it out in 2 days, but
because we were very straightforward too, whenever
with what we know what we wanted.
Yeah. And let's say we got a little lucky, or we just played our cards right with our first, the first guy that we were working with to show us some different spaces where we did get a really great price. But I think part of that too was part of the relationship that we started to build with him. It felt somewhat genuine, I would say. So when we got to approach other places about cost, and they were quite literally double the cost, we said, I mean, we're looking at this place literally down the street, same size, they're offering us this, and within seconds that person on the phone went from $700 to $3,500. So you have to be able to have what might look like a hard conversation, but just say what you want, and you might actually get a deal out of it. You know?
And I can tie this into like entrepreneurship and our business started a certain way. The number of our team members changed and all of that. And as we saw, as our agency grew, and as people's businesses that are listening to this, like as it's growing, sometimes it no longer becomes a fit, with who you're partnering with, or like whether it's a lease or whether it's a digital marketing agency or whatnot. And that's where we came with, the current office space that we have. But then also, that being said, it doesn't mean like for us, like catering to your audience and then your customers and your partners are very important, because this location just will not, like, they just won't budge. They don't want to cater to you. They don't want to be flexible. They don't want to make life easier for us. They actually make life harder for our agency, like having to maneuver through like booking rooms or paying extra or whatever. So like I take that same thought process and we apply it to our clients though. You know what I mean? Like our clients come to us and we try to cater to them as much as we can. And like if they have a need or a want, we do our best to make sure we provide that in a way that it makes sense for all parties. But my whole point with that is that some of these office spaces don't do that, and that shit makes me mad.
Yeah, something I just realized too is when we were at the last place that we decided on, they had mentioned, if we had chosen an office space that wasn't readily available, we could still pursue that one and sign everything up, and they'd put us in a different space. And I'm thinking back to an experience we had at our previous place where there was so much empty space, and we just wanted to step in. Door was open, no one was in there. There's nothing telling me I can't.
And they're
be
like,
in there.
no, you can't be in there.
Quite,
What
and
the
it was after 5 p.m. too. I mean, they were still working, where it was right up to the tail end of the day, and just sitting in there. Actually, not only deemed a hey, get out to me, but also, didn't you get an email saying like your team is like not using the space properly?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get reprimanded for that. And it's like, hold on, homie. Like
Yeah.
this is the first time we ever had an offense
Yeah.
or something like that, and it was just, hey,
It's just not
offer
friendly for us.
solutions.
Yeah.
Be like solution oriented rather than
Right. And had they asked us, like, if we're in those office spaces, like, hey, is your team growing or something? Like, all they have to do is pose a question.
even
So, like,
think about that.
yeah. So, like, if they would have done that, then there's a better chance that we would have just moved to a different location within the real estate company that we were
Yeah, and we
leasing
tried
from.
to.
Yeah.
Like we tried to have a conversation, let them know this is our concern. We understand
Sure.
it's not the person who we're talking to's fault, but like this is why we're leaving.
And does it make sense? Does it tie into customer service that I wanted to touch on? Like, I don't want today to sound like a rant, but there's so much shit I want to get off of my chest today.
No, I mean, I had written down a couple of different
Uh-huh.
customer service experiences over the last weeks that we both
In a
experienced.
couple of months, the last 90, 120 days,
Yeah.
we haven't been
And
in-
they weren't
we weren't
all
in the
negative.
studio. Yeah, they
but
weren't. Oh, that's true.
it really does tie into.
Let's start with a negative.
Okay.
I'm feeling
Do you want me to
feisty
list? Do you want me to list some
Fuck yeah,
places
let's-
that we
let's
went?
list 'em.
Well, first.
Before you list them, I just want to say I'm going to provide a solution for all this.
Okay.
Or like, like I'll tie it back into like business and why things like that hurt your business versus it like being an opportunity for growing your business or building a better relationship with your customers. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'll tie it in there somehow. I'll figure it out.
Okay, I'll start with one that was my experience first.
Sure.
It was for a local like arcade place that we like to go to that offers a lot of different things like bowling. And I think in that moment we were actually just trying to go last minute on what might be a busy weekday to bowl. And when we
Yeah.
called the office management, we asked, hey. I asked, hey, is there a wait or are there lanes open? Just something so simple. And the person said, oh, like I'm the office manager. I'm in the office, which we know. When you enter this very large establishment, the main office is right there.
Right.
And then you walk forward and it's the rest of the place.
Like you literally take 3 steps out and you can see how many lanes are occupied, correct?
Yeah.
Like it's that kind of
And
thing.
the office manager literally said to me, I can't see the lanes from the office, so can't help you there. And I was like, can't you like
It's
just
insane.
Can't you just like peek your head around or maybe like
It's literally like
transfer-
us walking out the door and just peeking down the hallway.
Yeah.
Like, is there anybody there?
like, have you seen a lot of foot traffic come through the door?
And she said she doesn't.
And she
know.
was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm in
I
the
remember
front
that phone
office,
call.
like-
I was next to you. Like, I
Yeah.
remember hearing that.
Yeah, and I think I gave her a little pushback. Like, you can't just like it just seemed so ridiculous to me that they don't want us to come in. Like, it was that easy of a sale.
Right.
So-
And then when we got there were only like 3 or 4 lanes occupied out of like the 30 lanes.
Yeah.
Which even makes it worse because you have a downtime and then you're not trying to fill that location.
yeah, or hi, transfer me to the desk that does tickets.
Right. Yeah, but okay, so that's example number 1. Let's
Uh-huh.
go to example number 2 because
So
we have plenty of these.
We had one at a hardware store. I don't know if we're name dropping places.
Yeah, I mean there's plenty of big hardware stores. Yeah,
That one
but
was actually the first one that we started to document because,
we started to notice a trend
yeah, and it had to do a lot
everywhere.
with the ages, let's say, of the people that were working. Because we both worked in customer service, retail. I was in
Yeah.
the bar industry.
Mhm.
And like in high school and college, like that was some of the best jobs I ever had because
Yeah.
we got to work there with friends.
Mhm.
You're making money. You have
Right.
literally no responsibilities. And you just have to have
Yeah.
a good time and like be excited. And what we started to notice is that younger people are mute.
And not I'm not bashing like younger people because I consider myself young, but
We're both young.
yeah, but I mean, to be specific, again, not everybody in this age group, but this is just based on our experience. I just want to make sure like people understand that.
Yeah.
The 18 to like 23, 24, the hardware store, like we walked in, asked the question,
Well-
and it sounded like it made it seem like she just didn't respond to anything that we asked.
Yeah. And we're pretty
And
outgoing.
she kind of put her hand out, like, give me the return product. Like, she was like this,
Uh-huh.
give it to me. And then she scanned it. And we were like, hey, we're going to go look for another one that'll work better for us,
Yeah.
regarding this light.
Yeah.
And then she didn't acknowledge us.
And you walked away. And she
I
got
was
frustrated.
like, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, is she just not paying attention? Like, I mean, we're literally in front of you talking to you, and they didn't say nothing. So that's scenario number 2.
But
Mhm.
it got better when
it?
we went to go check out.
Oh, yeah.
So we walk up to a place and it's not clear if it's self-checkout.
It is
or-
self-checkout.
But it wasn't clear when we walked up because there's staff actually standing
They were
there.
just standing there. So I walk up, I had the product, I'm going to the scanner. This guy just walks literally right in front of me, takes it from my
While
hand.
he's speaking to another
Yeah,
coworker.
he doesn't acknowledge me. He takes the product out of my hand, scans it, and then puts it down there and just continues.
Not once broke the conversation.
Right. I'm like, what? What's going on? So,
Like,
okay, you scanned it for
Hi,
me.
sir, let me help you.
Yeah, so like I paid for it, and he didn't talk to me. But that was an older guy. He had to be like in his 40s.
We just started to like realize
Yeah.
a lot of this, and then I think it started happening even more. We went to
What's the other place?
phone service a couple times.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Phone service. I used to be in telecom and I used to run retail stores, so there's a lot I could say there. But we made it a point to greet people that walked in, friendly environment, blah blah blah, lively. You know, I mean, because I'm sure people that are listening, depending on the manager that's running the retail store, the vibe of the store is different.
Yeah.
Anyways, that being said, we walked into a telephone carrier, telecom. You know, one of those major companies that sell you cell phones.
Yeah, you've seen their commercials.
Yeah, everywhere. Literally walked in. There were 5 staffs just sitting on the desk all the way in the back, in the corner, right? Like not in the corner, but just on the back of the store. And what happened there?
With them, I mean, we've both been in those stores before where it's like somebody, there is a greeter, there's a hired greeter there, and
But that store didn't have a greeter.
yeah, there
This
was
one didn't.
one, like you said, the manager. He was just giving off this weird
He
energy.
never even looked at us.
But and his kid was there too, and the manager was there several times. Either way, but like the specific experience, we went in trying to purchase like new lines.
Yeah,
and we had questions.
Yeah, we wanted the portable internet, right? So like
Okay.
we started traveling quite a bit, so we wanted the portable internet that we can use for a laptop. So like we're not using tethering off of our phones.
Yeah, we had questions. We wanted the
Right.
best option. This is a brand new service that we're adding. We don't just have a broken phone that we're like looking to resolve.
Right.
We want insight. And you had to, when you asked like, what are the deals going on? Like, what is this? What is that? He wasn't actually like presenting any like different options for you. He would just answer the question, very short, very sweet, but it wasn't like the details that you needed. You had to like prompt him.
He wasn't trying to find out. So like when I was running telecom stores, you know, the same exact type of store selling cell phones and internet, our people were asking open-ended questions to really understand what the customer needed, what their needs are, and then their lifestyle, and then from there we're catering certain type of phones or certain type of services or packages that would make sense for them. But every single one of these people that we've encountered so far, no matter which store we went to, nothing. Like they're just like, hey, what do you need?
Yeah.
And that's
Expecting
really
like the customer who's never experienced this before to know everything.
Yeah,
and ask
luckily
the right
I know
questions.
all this
Right.
shit, but yeah. It's insane that they don't prompt you for questions. The store manager never even like looks at you or greets you, which is fine. Like it's okay like if your team does it, because I know you got other stuff to do.
No, but do you remember that manager? He specifically, the kid that was helping us.
Yeah, like give me
he
your
was
ID.
an adult. He's not
Are
a
you talking about
child.
the ID part?
Not, I don't know. Either way, he asked his manager for some support. Maybe it was a code. Who knows? Manager walks up, doesn't even address us. Just like looks to the guy, does the thing, and just still stands there as if he's like supporting the situation, but like never engages
No, he was
with
actually
us.
sitting down. Remember, he was sitting down watching football.
It's just like, are we complaining too much just for like asking to be treated like a customer?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
know.
that's a great point. I think that's lost. I think it's like people are so lost with like the retail stores, because with my era, and it's not that long ago when I was running stores, like it was very important for us to greet everybody, ask the right questions. I mean, the service was there. It's just so different.
Yeah.
You know, and because of that experience at this one particular retail store that sells cell phones, we decided to go, you know, to a different one, like in a different
the street.
direction, like 5 miles down the road.
Yeah.
And then we added, you know, 3 more lines for our new
and
team
they get
members. You know?
commission for that.
Yeah, I think they still do. But my point is, like, had they catered to us, because we gave them like 3 opportunities, right?
It's
We went to
easy.
that, we went to that store 3 times, and it's a bad experience. So as a customer, we're like, no, we don't like that vibe there. So like the vibe is important, because customers are making decisions on how they feel when they interact with a business. You know what I mean? So that is important. Whether you have a retail store or whether it's an online service, that customer experience matters. So like we made a decision after that to go to a different store of the same company and then added 3 lines. So like they're missing out on opportunities like that. And that happens every day with entrepreneurs that don't understand how important it is to really not look at your customers as numbers in a transaction,
Yeah.
but to build relationships, which kind of gets into our next.
I know, but it's like, and we're not even asking for you to like bow down
above
and
and beyond.
pamper us or
Yeah.
something. Like, you don't have to treat us like we're anything special, but just like educate us on what our options are so that we can make an informed decision. And
Right.
along the way, just like be kind, be informative, be
Mhm.
helpful to us. And like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
in the end too, like whenever there's a hard situation like with a client or something, the better the
Mhm.
relationship you've built with them, the easier it is to like work through something, like
Yeah.
find a solution or,
Mhm.
you know, just
Yeah, it just all this said, and there's another store where I was trying to get laptops for new team members,
God.
and it's the same experience. Look, 5 out of 5 locations, bad experience.
Mhm.
Like I can't think of one location that like somebody was on just top of their shit. Like
got
they
it.
just you know what I mean. Like they just know like what's happening. They're not misinforming customers. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're not like over promising something and then under like. I didn't have any of that experience here. So like me understanding that, like it even more, like even talking about it right now makes me want to make sure like all our shit is like tied up in a
Yeah.
bow and we're delivering exactly what we say. Not only exactly what we're saying, but like over delivering on what it is that we do here at Valynt Digital.
Yeah.
So
And so the listeners can hear what a good example is like, so you can kind of like get an idea.
what is
we,
a good example? I can't even remember.
we went to a coffee shop in Grand Prairie, and it was across the street from our typical coffee shop.
Oh, because we wanted to try something.
Yeah.
different.
And one there, it's like a drive-up coffee shop, so we never heard it before. We don't know their menu, we don't know the apps. And we pulled up, asked a ton of questions. What sugar-free options can you add? Can you add this? Can you add that? They answered all of it like really kindly. They also gave us life hacks, and they were like, "Oh, if you do this point system, if you do this next time," like they were inviting us to come back and showing us why it would be a great reason, knowing there's exact same coffee style across the street.
Yeah.
But
that's
then they really just acted like they enjoyed their time. It didn't seem like
They
when
did.
we were up there, we were a hassle for them to be there.
Right.
And they started out, I mean, we were there for maybe 2-3 minutes waiting in line, but like they
Yeah,
started
but
just engaging with us.
Yeah,
Like,
and it was just regular conversation.
Yeah, and-
so yeah, I do remember
yeah.
that.
And
do
I
remember that.
love the points. I love the coupons. They call me coupon back. I want maybe, but no, I loved that they were like
Coupon
next.
with a K.
I just liked that they showed me why I should come back to like their store instead of another one.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. And to be honest with you, like I've been back on that side
Yeah.
to that coffee shop instead of the one across the highway.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everybody makes decisions that way, but I can tell you a lot of people make decisions that way. So like the way you make somebody feel, or like even this podcast studio, you know what I mean? Like Emilio greeted us, like came up like, "Yo, what's up? Long time no see." Like, you know what I mean? Like I
feel
love it here.
welcomed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel welcome here to come here and shoot our podcast, and they're like, "Oh, we missed your energy," you know what I mean? And stuff like that like matters to me. So I think, and again, because of that, I see this place. It looks like it's flourishing and it's doing well here, and it makes sense to me. And then even Jeff like greeted me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just, I don't want to say that like the pandemic is the reason, but like we distance ourselves for so long and we got used to, I mean, technology has allowed us to distance ourselves too. And like through the screen, it's just that personal relationship with people is still so important. So
Yeah, I want to touch on that today, and I think this is gonna be the last thing, on today's Valiant volumes, but relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters in so many ways, like on personal and even in business, especially in business.
yeah, you use the word,
especially in personal. too.
Yeah.
Both.
I
It
mean,
both matters.
what is the saying? It's like something about you can do it's not always easy to do business with your friends, but you can find friends through business too, like when you become friends with clients and stuff like that.
I've never heard of it, but
I probably butchered it. Never mind.
I'm like, okay.
Don't worry about that one.
I'm trying
But
to
no,
follow you.
the business part of it, I like the word you used earlier about the transactional. You know, it's not just transactional. Like whenever you
Yeah.
build a relationship around it.
Yeah, so like if you're an entrepreneur, like look, Valynt Digital has been in business for 6 years. Like even
Celebrated our 6 years since
Yeah.
we've been back. So
oh yeah, we
Congrats.
have, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, thank you. The relationship part of it, of our business, I'm starting to realize how important it is even more. I can tell you in the last 4 weeks, we've had at least 7 to 8 organizations reach back out to us that used to work with us.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You know this. Yes. I think 7 to 8, maybe a little bit more.
And isn't it anything? I mean, it's everything between like they did work with us and they stepped away for their own reasons, or they were a lead that sales team was working on courting, and they just weren't ready to budge then, and they
Right.
remembered,
Ready
hey,
now.
Valiant actually offers that solution. Like,
Yeah.
let's go revisit that.
Yeah. And I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but out of those 7 or 8, I said no to like 3
Why though?
because of the relationship, and that's it. Like because of the relationship. It's not that, well, one in particular, it's not like we had
Bad blood.
yeah, there's no bad blood with any of these people. It's just that I could tell, like, with our conversations, they just only cared about themselves. Like, they didn't really care about my, like, you know, I don't care if they care about me. It matters a little bit to me, but they didn't really treat our people right, or, you know, they said certain things. It's like they didn't even remember how they left our, you know what I mean? Like, our relationship before, if they were working with us, and how difficult they were with us. Although we try to cater as much as we can. So, like, out of those 7 or 8, we only brought back on 3, which we said yes to. The other ones, we kindly said, hey, look, we just don't do that anymore. Or like, hey, we're just, you know, whatever. And that's the truth. We are too busy for people that don't, you know, treat us the right way, or like care enough to build a relationship with our agency.
I think understanding that this
You
is a
follow me? Like,
understanding that this is a collaborative effort, like when you partner with
And
a
it's not
marketing
transactional.
agency.
Yeah. Marketing isn't transactional.
Yeah.
I mean, there is transactional, like direct marketing, but like the type of marketing that we do is relationship.
Yeah, I mean, but the customization, maybe that's the wrong word, but the way that you guys, like, the way that we're writing copy, creating content, doing video production, spending so much time actually like figuring out the voice, the tone, like what is unique about this this investment opportunity, like taking all that time to figure that out. There should also be like a mutual respect too, of like, hi, this is our business, like this is how Valiant runs. Please, like, we where we're at because we excel in a certain area, right? And so like listen to some of the feedback that we have too, in the direction that maybe you should start, because
and 90% of our clients are, I mean, I would think right now all of our clients are like that. They're very open. It's a collaborative effort. Even yesterday we hopped on a call with, you know, a lot of our team members on our side, and then like 3 of their people. So like there were 9 people on the Zoom, and it was pretty productive. But it was to build more relationship, you know, between the 2 organizations, and understand like, hey, Valiant is here to become an extension of their marketing team and support them on their journey. But then also on their side with this particular partner, they were very open and be like, hey, and not everything is like all, you know, fine and dandy. You know what I mean? Like this relationship, like this is their, they've been with us for I think a total of maybe like a year and maybe like 3 months, but this is in a span of like a 2.5, 3 year period. You know, so they've been on and off kind of thing. They've been coming back, you know, for their particular reasons. But this time around, like they have new team members. So yesterday's call was really to build that relationship. So we moved this campaign in the right direction.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like in the past, when things didn't work out for some of our partners, it has to do with the fact that, and look, we'll take blame for some of the stuff, you know, when things didn't work out.
No relationship, business, personal, like whatever.
But I can tell you, it had to do with the amount of effort that we both parties put into the relationship.
Yeah, the collaboration.
So, yeah, and then when I say both parties, like it's even not just myself, because I'm not on all these calls. You know, it's our director of you know, operations. It's the director of digital's job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Jagger who's, you know, heading the sales department of it. Is it like all of that matters from start to finish in terms of like how the relationship is even being transferred over from one part of our business to the next part. From the sales portion of it, that relationship is being then handled down over to the operations part from the onboard, and then that relationship is being transferred over to the digital marketing managers on the back end. So like there's even a baton handoff of these relationships, and it has to go pretty smooth or things don't turn out the way it needs to. So like I'm just realizing this, like, damn, like there's a lot of shit that we do that needs to go right for this thing to work out.
Yeah. And like, I mean, this could be a whole topic in itself, but what you were just describing, like the baton pass off, I remember, you know, 3 years ago, it really did feel like there was a lot of fun and personality on the sales side of things. The baton is passed over, and it's a whole different experience with who you're working with. And like, it almost feels like, it wasn't a truthful, like, this is the team you're working with. It wasn't as fun, I guess. We just didn't have the right team to support the onboard.
The team
and
matters.
we've grown, and now that there's just such a smooth process, and everyone's really on the same page and has the same attention behind it all, like, it's fun for the client all the way through. You know,
It is.
They get a good relationship with everyone.
Yeah, and that's on our agency and client relationship. One thing I do want to say as we wrap this, Valiant Volumes up today, it is important, right, for our partners, like the leads that we generate for our clients, from potential investors, that they're not looking at it as these leads of investors that are coming in as a transaction, because it is hard to raise capital. If you're in the capital raise game, let me put it this way. If you're raising capital for Reg A, Reg D, especially because you're talking to these investors, if you treat these investors like transactions, so when the lead comes in, we generate the lead as Valynt Digital, we generate the lead, and then your IR team is calling, and then you treat them like, hey, we just want this fund. We want, $50K from you. We want $100K from you. Investors can smell that, and if you're not truly trying to build a relationship with the potential investor first, and then talking and trying to get them to invest in your opportunity, it is going to be very difficult for these type of organizations that don't treat investors like people instead of money to raise the capital. And I'm seeing that firsthand with our current clients. Like, there's maybe a very small portion of some of our partners that just need to shift their way of thinking on how to treat these potential investors that are coming in.
Yeah.
Because the ones that are super successful closing deals, I mean, we got clients closing, $250,000 in just the first couple of weeks of us launching the digital marketing campaign. This is real, and this is true for some of these people that we're working with right now. So, but I see with their IR team, they're relentless on the phones. Number one, they're calling them 7 to 10 times, and on top of that, when they do get a hold of these investors, they're treating them like relationships, which is, and then turning into relationships equal money. Look, I don't know how you guys feel about Grant Cardone, but Grant Cardone said this about relationships are money. Yeah, I mean, the money that you want is in somebody else's pocket, right?
But to your point, though, the transactional part of it, like, if you view them as a human, that also, I could see that if you change that perspective really just slightly, then you start to realize a human's on the other end of it. A human filled out that form to opt in. A human is busy. That investor has that hundreds or thousands of dollars to invest because they're busy.
That's correct.
And so you got to keep following up with them. It's not going to be the first time. It's not just a transaction. It's a human on the other end of it. They have the money for you because they make that money.
Yeah.
So treating it like a human, you can start to maybe even understand a little bit more. It's going to take a couple of calls to get a hold of them.
For sure. And I think that's a good place to kind of put a stake in our conversation here today. So
what can the listeners expect over our next couple episodes now that we're refreshed? Back into the
we're back. So again, like, as I said on the first part of this, this volume, there's a lot of changes happening. So again, my goal and our goal here is to entertain and like let people see like what it is that we do as Valynt Digital, but then also I want to make sure that we're adding value to the listeners and really sharing our experiences and our thoughts that'll help them in some way, shape, or form. That's the goal with this podcast, right? That is what I want to do here. And selfishly, is brand building. So
that's a big thing for Q4 is brand building right now.
Yeah, Q4 is brand building. So we had this from Q1 to talk about. I mean, I knew I wanted to do this last year, and we went at it, but then we had a lot of things happening at the agency. Now we're back, so we just want to continue to build this brand and help raise capital, because raising capital means we're helping our clients make their dream a reality, and that's what we do here at Valynt Digital. So we appreciate you tuning in today and listening to Valynt Volumes, and we'll talk to you soon.